Hello everyone, hello my dear English speaking friends. I have made a video on these products, part of the video, only one part yet, on the products that I bought in February, and I call this video February Lust because it's really about desire to buy things, to want to use them, to have them, to touch, to use, to adore and possess, I guess the word. Endless joy when I buy things, when I use them, when I touch them, and I know that they're mine, and I can use variety of things. I don't think it's anything bad. I don't spend money on stupid things. Those are all quality stuff, and just want to show you, share with you, and a couple of words about influencers on YouTube. As I probably influence some people in their decisions in terms of what to buy, what to use, because no doubt the reviews are helpful to those who specifically are looking for certain things, and you find review and you find opinions. People like me, we don't gain anything from making reviews better, nicer than products actually are, but I'm lucky that I can buy luxury stuff and share with you, and as a rule this type of products are good. Some of them better, some of them worse, and at the end of a year we have this habit of sharing our best experiences and giving recommendations to each other. It's a very nice tight community on YouTube actually, and one of my recent people I subscribed for is Mel Thompson. I actually saw her before, and I got never hooked. I thought her manner of speaking was a little bit too loud, maybe just a bit too much of it. But then I started listening, and she's actually quite funny, and she's quite pleasant girl. There are certain things that I wouldn't do on myself, like maybe this cover myself with tattoos, which I have none, or I wouldn't shave my hair. So in certain ways she's totally opposite to me, but her makeup is absolutely immaculate. So those who don't know her, have a look. Mel Thompson. And the reason I got more hooked on her now, because I subscribe to Wayne Goss, and any updates that come in from him, I got notifications. And only yesterday, I think a couple of days ago, I had notification from his channel. She's talking about him, and she's talking about the products that he made her buy, or in other words, he influenced her. So he's a big influencer in the makeup world, and I must admit that I have learned so much from him. He's a wonderful person, and he's really, he's a great teacher. He shows these things, and he is very honest as well, because if something didn't work out, something looks stupid, or something has to die off as a bad habit in makeup, he shares with it as well with us. He shares about it, and that's good. So anyway, back to Mel Thompson. So she talked about a couple of things that I got interested in. I specifically started looking at her lipsticks, and things when she was talking about Wayne Goss, she talked about Hourglass, which I heard from him, his reviews about Hourglass as a brand of the highest quality, and he speaks very highly about the powder products, foundation, and lipsticks, and a lot of blushes. I had to go and order. So I bought 2 of the blushes. This is called Dim Infusion. Absolutely stunning. It's a very soft natural powder. You can't even see it properly, but I tried it in the daylight today, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just the way your face looks radiant, looks really fantastic, healthy, as if like you had just brisk walk and you're walking through the door, and your face just looks radiant. So this one is Dim Infusion, and it looks like that. And another one is called Diffused Heat, and that's what Mel was on about, and I thought, oh my goodness, I have to buy it because it just looks so stunning. She did some swatches, so it looks a little bit more sort of pronounced as a blusher, but you can obviously build it up, and it's got tiny very, you can't even notice, as a tiny bit of shimmer, very little, but looks really natural on the face. It looks absolutely beautiful. So those were actually they only arrived today. And another thing I want to show you is that nail polish, which I absolutely love. Dior is called Twinkle. As you probably know, pink is the color of the spring, is the seasonal color. I thought I probably finished with pink, but I clearly haven't, and now I'm making those pink trousers myself for spring. Pink goes as a theme of spring, but I think any combination of, and it's all kind of pink, but mainly very nice, subtle, very sort of pale, dusky pink, or pale, or almost like a blush color pink. And another one I purchased the couple of things because my girls at work gave me a voucher for birthday, which was very sweet of them, and they said, well, we know where it's going to be spent, and they were right. But I didn't go to Dior, which I normally would do. I think because I just bought everything in Dior. There's nothing that I don't have, I think. So I went to Chanel, and I was kind of keeping an eye on, because of one review also on YouTube. A lady called, she's English, Miss Frankie Cat. She is so lovely. She speaks so well. She's so well spoken, and her reviews are very sensible. So she mentioned that as a new nail varnish or from spring collection called Daydream. And Daydream is actually funny because the Tom Ford Daydream is a palette which isn't necessarily a new palette, in kind of purple, lilac, pinkish tone, a cold palette. Right, this is called Daydream as well. So I thought, interesting, but they're not necessarily match each other. By the way, Dior have Twinkle lipstick, similar color. I haven't tried it. I should have actually tried it, but it was so busy in Dior today. They had some stock coming, and I didn't want to piddle about too much. So after work, I went straight to John Lewis today, and I bought a couple of things which I'm going to show you in a separate video now, because I've done it in Russian, and in Russian it took me about 14 minutes. I'm going to do the two separate ones, Charlotte Tilbury first of all, and Guerlain. And in the Guerlain bag there are a couple of things from Guerlain, as well as Laura Mercier, which I also just introduced myself to. I never had her. And now very quick again swatches in this light. This palette is actually really nicely blending, but also really lovely. So this palette is called Blue Beat, which is the part of the new spring collection, Dior collection, called Glow Vibe, and it's got a really nice cool color. So what do I do here? I've got swatches. I'm doing swatches now. I want to show you a little bit closer so you have a better idea of how it actually looks on the skin, and talk about the texture a little bit more in detail. So as you can see, it's quite cool. It also doesn't look too bright. It's really lovely, cool colors. I absolutely love it, to be honest. I love it now more than I did when I was in the shop, because now I've got a chance to actually properly look at it. Look at the that subtle shimmer. It's so beautiful. Pink is cool. That is like ice blue, really cool, almost white. And this green is a light turquoise, which you can build. They're all very buildable colors, and you can also look at how you can mix them together, where to place them. So I must do tutorial with this. I absolutely must. I will try to do it this weekend. We're buying magnolia tree tomorrow, so we're going to the place where we can buy magnolia tree. We've got a couple of trees in front of the house and on the side and in the back garden. And this is I saw one of YouTubers just slushing this sort of color on the eye, and they say, oh, it's a bit too bright, too dark. So you don't need to put so much. You can actually, with a soft brush, if you use a really soft brush, and I did mention it in my other video, you can put just as little as that. You know, you can almost dust your eyelid with that. You don't have to build so much color unless you really have to, or unless you want to. I'm happy with. And now we move on to the next lot, which is also quite exciting. Oh gosh, I love my makeup so much, it's crazy. I'm never gonna stop. You know what I'm worried about? That when I die, there's so much makeup left. But let's not think about it yet. This is another one of the, from that voucher that girls gave me. I had to actually add a little bit money because it was more than I had on the voucher, but it doesn't matter. This is quite expensive, but I think it's worth it. I'll show you on my hand, on the back of my hand. This is LeBlanc. Well, it's base, but it's basically a primer. It's a new one. They just came out. They told me. I bought it in Boots. SPF 40. It's got perfect stuff for spring and summer. The texture is unbelievably beautiful. It really is. I bought Backstage Dior primer. I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. If your skin is mature, I think it's more for young girls with a lot of going on the skin at the moment that you have. Still oily, etc. It kind of made me a little bit drier. It does grip the makeup though. It holds it well, and it's nice quality. This is absolutely beautiful. The shimmer of that, you'll see, it's kind of like a tiny golden dust almost on the skin. It's absolutely lovely, and it's with SPF 40. I think you can't go wrong there. This is absolutely stunning quality. I didn't think I'm gonna like Chanel so much. I still have Dior primer, and I still have Dream Skin and Tom Ford primer as well. Tom Ford primer I like more than I like foundation, but that's a separate conversation. And the last thing I wanted to look at in this part of the video is I bought that at the airport when I went to one of my business trips just recently, and it's Dior Prestige foundation. I was walking around it for some time, and I always wanted it because of the quality. And I have that cushion. With a cushion you get, I don't know how much actually product you get it. What I like about cushion is that you get it convenience. I know that you can also replace it. I haven't got to the replacement. It's actually quite deceitful. When you look at the actual color and that color, that's not. It's a sponge. It looks much darker than. It is the best quality foundation I ever had, I must admit. And because of that, I purchased the actual bottle of that Prestige. My normal tone is about 20 in Dior, and it's more of the neutral. I won't squash it out. Oh no, I will. I actually haven't tried it yet. Here you go. And it comes with a little brush, and the brush is absolutely lovely and soft and beautiful. It's so, it's lovely. So I'm not sure if this is my tone actually, but when I tried it, because we did a test in my hands are pinky anyway for some reason. Face is got more neutral sort of tone. It actually sits very nicely, and then with bronzer and blusher, it's just fine. So those are just gone on for over 15 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up, and I see you in the next video about Charlotte Tilbury and Guerlain.